Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about linear functions that you've already covered and go through an example of what sort of question you could be asked. So just a quick recap, let's just grab a pen. A linear function is a function whose graph looks, something like that. A straight line is a linear function. So it could be that, it could be that. These are all different linear functions. Okay, so when we talk about linear functions, we're talking about functions of the form y equals mx plus c, or f of x equals mx plus c. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Let's have a look at the sort of question that you could be asked. Okay, draw the graph of that and determine the key characteristics. Now, firstly, what we're going to have to do is we need something in the form y equals mx plus c. Okay, and this is not in that form. So let's try and massage it into that sort of form. So this is what we're looking for. We have 2y plus x minus 3 equals 0. Just gonna draw a line here. Okay. Now we want to get y on its own on the left, and we want to get everything else onto the right hand side. So firstly, let's keep this 2y here, and let's move all that across. So we're going to minus x from each side, and we're going to plus 3 to both sides. So we get the minus x will cancel that out, and minus x this side. So we're going to get minus x, and we're going to plus 3 this side and plus 3 this side. So plus 3. Okay, looking better. Still not in this form though. So to get y on its own, we're going to have to divide through by 2. So divide that by 2, divide that by 2, divide that by 2. Okay, and what do we get? Y equals minus a half x. Okay, that can also be written as minus a half x. Those two are the same thing. Okay, I'm just kind of taking x to be on its own. And then plus 3 over 2. There we go. Okay, so we have got a linear function. Okay, let's try and identify some of the stuff. This over here is m. And this over here is c. Okay, let's plot it. Draw axes. And what is this going to look like? Well, firstly, the first thing that you should think of when you're going to plot a graph is it going to be a graph that goes like this, or is it going to be a graph that goes like this? Okay, this is a positive graph, so this is for positive m. This is for a negative graph, so when m is negative. So our graph is going to do something going down like this. Okay, so when you plot it, if your graph comes out like that, you know you've done something wrong somewhere. Then the second thing we look at is C. Is C positive? Is C negative? Is C 0? Okay, negative is down here. This is our y, this is our x. So negative is going to be down here. We're looking at 3 over 2. It's not coming out very neatly. 3 over 2. That's our C. So we're going to have 1 point over there. Okay. Now, there are a few ways that you can go about plotting this now. You can throw in any other value of x that you want and see what y comes out at. So we can put in x to be 1 and see what y comes out at, and then we'll be able to plot that. Or you can set y to be 0 and find out what the x-intercept is. Okay, let's go that route. Let's try and find out. So we know the y-intercept. Let's try to find out the x-intercept. So let's just come across in this direction. We've gone too far. So we've got y is equal to minus a half x plus 3 over 2. So let's try to find the x-intercept. So to find the x-intercept, we're going to set this at 0. So we're going to say let y be 0. And let's find out what is x going to be when y is 0. So 0 equals minus a half x plus 3 over 2. Okay, and this is then back to grade 9 maths, just finding out what is x. Okay, so let's add this to both sides. So we're going to get a half x on this side is equal to 3 over 2. Then we're going to times both sides by 2. X is equal to 3. So now what does that mean? That means when y is 0, x was 3. So that means we found a point 3, 0. So that's another point we can now plot on our graph. So if we come back here, we can now plot the point at x is 3. So let's just put that somewhere there, 3, and y is 0. So there's our point there. And then straight line graphs are as simple as joining the dots. Let's see if I can draw a straight line here. There we go. Okay. So there's our straight line. Now let's just quickly go back and check our initial thing. We said a minus m means the graph has to be this way. Okay, so we were correct. We were correct in our working out of what this graph looks like. Okay. Second part was, and determine the key characteristics. Well, we actually did that along the way. There's our m minus a half. There's our c plus 3 over 2. Okay, so it's answering the question. And that's linear functions. Next up, we're going to be going through some quadratic functions.